I don't know where you've been, but you're going to respect this courtroom. My life has proven that it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. From a jailed youth who had my record expunged to becoming the youngest judge elected.
The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
In just 15 years. Ma'am, let me know when you want to go to rehab. Otherwise, I think you're a crackhead.
Absolutely not.
My goal is to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. You don't need him and his little raggedy roommate.
Thank you.
All while having a little fun on Mathis Court. You look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Janet Hoyer is suing Casey Price in the amount of $485.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated.
Ms. Hoyer claims her neighbor offered to watch her son so she could visit her ailing mother and says she missed her flight when Miss Price changed her mind.
State your name.
Janet Hoyer.
Ma'am?
Casey Price.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $485, alleging she breached her promise to provide child care for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll start with you.
Your Honor, Casey is a neighbor that everyone has. One that's always asking for a favor but never returning one. And I'm not talking about your typical favors, some milk and sugar. No, she wants your whole car or $100 to run up the street when you both going the same way. It's ridiculous.
Everybody feel that way or just you? You the sucker?
No, me and some other neighbors as well.
Y'all got some other suckers on the block that she goes after?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. What she do to them? Do you know what type of
the
what type
stories
of con
go
she
around.
putting
It's
on
the
them?
same thing. If she can't get from one, she'll go to the other.
Okay.
So.
You're not like that, are you?
No, not at all.
You don't con your neighbors out this stuff, do you?
No, not at
she
all.
say.
They don't have you don't have that reputation on the street, do you?
She's making herself look good right now, but we'll leave that alone.
All right.
Okay.
And so how long have you all been neighbors?
For 5 years. Your
And
Honor.
what has she been like with respect to your friendship?
Honestly, we have become good friends.
Good.
And, you know, I understand people have.
As long as you give that car up, doctor, that's right, you're going to stay good friends as long as you get that car up every month.
That's how good of a friend I am.
But I don't give to you too.
You do give, but
You give milk
spontaneously.
and sugar. She gives, like she said, automobiles.
I'll give her what she needs.
Go
okay?
ahead.
We're both single mothers, so I know how it is.
How
So
many
that's
children
why
you
I'm
have?
there. I have one son named Neil.
Okay, how many you have?
I have one, Roger.
Okay, how are they? A similar age?
Yeah, her son's 7, mine's 8. They go to the same school.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they play
associate,
together.
they're friends?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Good.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
So shortly before the incident occurred, I was outside watching our children play, and unfortunately I got a phone call that my mother had a heart attack. So I was on the phone for hours trying to find someone to watch my son, and Casey overheard the conversation and offered to watch my son for me. And she owed me this favor.
As I usually do. I will help you just like you help me.
What does she owe you for this time?
Because I watched her dog for a whole week, and I am not a pet-friendly person. No. But I did it of the kindness of my heart.
Janet's expectation that Casey owed her childcare because she watched Casey's dog reflects common neighborly reciprocity. However, as Judge Mathis later clarifies, favors aren't legally enforceable unless they form a contract. This teaches the importance of clear agreements over assumed obligations.
I watched her dog.
You watched her dog? She should watch your dog.
She treats her dog like she treats her son. So.
That's terrible. Don't say that.
No, I mean she's a good pet owner. That's what I'm saying.
That's
like
a good
yeah,
pet
like
owner.
she treats.
She should still treat her child better than she treats the
yes,
dog.
I
Treats his dog better than he treats me.
You might be on to something. He's definitely right. Go ahead. Dog don't talk back. Dog come and get up under you and be nice.
Doesn't
Okay,
ask
well,
for
I'll
money.
think of trying to get
Doesn't
one.
ask for money.
True.
Doesn't come and get your clothes out the closet unless he needs something to chew on.
Yes. Well, I thought it was easy to take care of her dog because I never hear of any issues, so I did it.
Okay,
I
but
did
now
it.
this time she offered to take care of your son.
Yes.
While
she
you.
did. While I went to go visit my mother in New York from the heart
Okay,
attack.
how long were you going to be gone?
For 5 days.
And you told her that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so what occurred?
So I was on my way to the airport, and I get a call from her. She's very upset and telling me to turn around now to come and pick up my son. And I'm asking her, like, what happened? What's going on? I could not get an explanation over the phone. I even asked to speak to my son. She said, no, come and get him.
Allegedly.
Was he hurt or anything?
No, he wasn't hurt. She just said that he was misbehaving, and that was it.
Oh, and
so
she
I
didn't-
really didn't get the whole concept of the
Well,
story.
let's
I
hear
didn't know
from
what
her
was going
today.
on.
Maybe she don't take no stuff. Let me hear from you.
So, first of all, this is my first time hearing that she don't like my dog, but okay.
Coming up on Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Kicking your seat and what else?
He was kicking my seat and telling me, you are not my mom and I don't have to listen to you.
So you should have been a mother and de-escalated the problem and spoke to him right then and there. If
So
we're
now
friends,
we're questioning my parenting.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Janet Hoyer, who is suing Casey Price for travel expenses.
What I understood to be in friendship was just that. I help her, she helps me, and it is what it is.
And you offered to take care of her child. She didn't
asked
even
me-
have to ask.
She asked me,
Oh, okay. She
and then
said
I
she
told her I
didn't.
would.
Okay.
If you
because she
remember the
kept my dog.
conversation, I
said
was
she didn't ask you. She
outside
said you
talking while her
volunteered.
kids were playing, and you heard me, and you're like, what's going on? I explained to you my mom had a heart attack, and then you were still there while I was calling relatives to watch my child,
Either
and
way-
then you were like,
No,
well,
it's not
I will
either
be
way.
there for
Either way,
way.
I agreed, right?
Well, I'm just saying it speaks better of you, what she's saying and what I'm saying, but fine, you didn't ask. She begged you. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
She had to beg you. Your neighbor had to beg you to take care of her child. As close as y'all been for 5 years, she take care of your dog, she does this, and she had to beg you.
I had no
I beg her
problem
for other
taking
things
care of
too,
her
but
dog.
like I said,
I'm
she
trying to say,
chooses the
you need the
favors.
benefit
But I let
of
you speak, though.
offering. Go
But
ahead,
you're not my
ma'am.
mother.
So
Go ahead.
I told her yes. I agreed to keep her son, and it was not a problem with me. She told me that she could assure me that he was going to be okay. I've never seen him have any kind of behavioral issues before. We hang out all the time. Our kids play together. Never seen, you know what I mean, anything from him that was out of the ordinary. However, now that she's gone, I pick them up from school. I was supposed to keep them Friday through Tuesday. And I get them from school. When we're on our way from school, they're in the back seat. I tell them, hey, when you get to the house, before you get on all your little electronics and all that stuff, you guys need to do your homework, right? So he begins to kick the back of my seat and tell me, you are not my mom and I don't have to listen to you. So at that point, I said, okay, I'm gonna call your mom and she gonna come get you, because we don't do that. And my son doesn't even talk to
Casey's decision to call Janet when Neil misbehaved shows the limits of a caregiver's responsibility. Non-parents aren't obligated to discipline or tolerate disruptive behavior, especially without prior knowledge of issues. This underscores the need for clear communication about a child's needs.
me like that, so I'm not gonna allow somebody else's child, because if it was my child, I'd probably put him over my knee, but it's not my child. So I felt like I was helping by calling her prior to her leaving. If she would have got on the plane, it would have been a whole other situation, you know what I mean? And he
How?
started
Where you
acting
was
out.
gonna send him if I was on the plane?
If she would have
what
got
a
on
friend.
the plane and I called her later, it would have been a worse situation, right? But I was conveniently calling you before you even got on the plane. So you can figure out what you're gonna do with your son, because if he's already acting like this on day one, I can't imagine what he's gonna be like day 4 or 5.
Did she ask or did you suggest she speak to him on the phone?
I asked.
She probably asked, I can't recall.
So what happened? Why didn't you? Why didn't you think to? If she asked and you can't recall, why didn't you think to? Here, you might want to talk to your son. That's the first thing you want to do.
That's cool, but I did, when she finally got there, I told her everything that was going on. I explained it then. So if I didn't explain it all on the phone or what have you, it could have been just because I was upset at the moment. But I explained it later, and I told her everything.
Kicking your seat and what else?
He was kicking my seat and telling me, you are not my mom, and I don't have to listen to you.
So you should have been a mother and de-escalated the problem and spoke to him right then and there. If
So
we're
now
friends,
we're questioning my parenting.
No, I'm not questioning. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Questioning your babysitting. Yes, because questioning your babysitting. Yes, that's different from parenting. It's like
you should have been
like the child said, you're not her mama, or you're not his mama. So I'm saying she's questioning your babysitting skills.
You should have been my friend and knew that I was rushing to the airport to go see my mother, and then just took care of the situation by yourself.
So if you felt like you had a little Stewie Griffin over there with you, you should have told me that before I babysitted him. But instead,
to tell you what?
You didn't tell me your son was a little Stewie Griffin.
Now you.
Now your name called.
Well, she just talked about my
Lock me up right here, Yana, because I'm about to get.
She just said I should have been a mother and de-escalated the situation.
Like friends
I am a great mother.
I apologize, but.
She
Let me fix my words. You should have been a friend and been there for me and de-escalated the situation yourself. You know he does not act up.
Well, so I wouldn't have been able to handle him the way I would have been able to handle my own. So I called you to handle your own.
He was probably, he's never been away from me. Probably going through separation anxiety, wondering what's going on with his grandmother, just having a little tantrum. All you had to do was talk to him. But selfish.
I did attempt to talk to him.
But you are selfish.
I did attempt. He didn't want to listen to me.
What did you say to him, and what did he respond? How did he respond?
I told him I am an adult. Your mom left you with me, so you are gonna have to obey. Just like I would anybody else who I'm babysitting, which I've babysitted a lot of other people's children, and I don't have to deal with them talking to me like that.
You know he does not do that. So obviously there was a situation.
But she tried. You said she should have de-escalated. She said she did try. Man, what did your son tell you? Let's get there. He's 7 years old or 8.
He honestly told me that he just he did not like that I left him. He never slept out of the house.
At what point did he tell you this? When you came back home?
While I was trying to find another sitter. As soon as I picked him up from her.
Where were you all?
I was driving to the airport.
When he told you that, was he in the car, in the house?
We were in the car. We were in the car driving. I was taking him to a friend's house.
So what did you say to him?
I just told him, regardless of how you feel, you never disrespect adults, and you know better.
And he should have known that before he came.
So what did you do with the situation then? How did you handle it after that, going to see your mother?
Okay, so I ended up leaving him with a friend, and
that friend have any complaint?
No. He had no complaints at all.
Coming up.
She clearly did not want to watch my son. Like she picks and chooses her favors to give to her neighbors and her friends.
You said she offered to. You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Janet Hoyer, who is suing Casey Price for travel expenses.
How does she owe you money, though?
She owes me money because I had to turn around and catch a red-eye flight that cost me $485. Your Honor, I'm a single mother, and I work paycheck to paycheck.
Did you tell your son
I could not afford that. Yes, I did. But if she would have took the time out to understand what was going on or even ask him.
You have no obligation to do that. You got to watch who you agree to accept a gift from.
She owed me a favor, and I even have the text messages.
She owed you a gift. There's no such thing as owing a gift. I mean, people use that terminology, but there's no such thing. A gift is not enforceable. It is not a contract. You can't enforce a gift until it's completed. Other than that, it's a promise of a gift. It's a promise of...
Judge Mathis explains that a promise, like Casey's offer to watch Janet's son, is not a legally enforceable contract unless it's completed. This highlights the distinction between a gift, a favor, and a binding agreement, a key principle in contract law.
Doing something for you. The gift was to take care of the son. That's the gift you're giving her. Then you failed to take care of the son. So you took that gift back. But Was the gift conditioned upon him behaving in a reasonable way? Because no one can expect you to give them a gift that's going to cause you harm or
Pain and
hardship.
My son told me that he tried to apologize to her, and she didn't even want to accept the apology. She clearly did not want to watch my son.
It was
Like, she
time for
picks and
him to
chooses her
go.
favors to give to her neighbors and her friends.
You said she offered to.
Coming up,
I'm not going to let you talk to your child.
She did not let me speak to him over the phone.
You asked?
I did ask,
And she
Your
said
Honor.
no.
She said no, come and get him. She said come and get him. She bailed on me.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Mathis Court is back with a case of Janet Hoyer, who is suing Casey Price for travel expenses.
You calling all these folks, and she's the only one that offered. Nobody else even picked up the phone. Nobody wanted to be
maybe
bothered
they know
with
something
you.
that we don't know, Judge.
Yeah, that's what I say. Nobody wanted to be bothered with you. You said you called for hours.
Everyone was busy, and it was short notice.
Why
You
everybody
know,
busy when you call? Everybody busy when you call?
She lives
Everybody
close.
busy when you call?
Sometimes.
Well, they don't want to be bothered with you either. Everybody not busy. Nobody, they're not busy when I call. Few people are, but not everybody. Everybody you call is busy.
Your Honor.
At least they pick up for you. Do they pick up
They
for you?
picked up. They
You're
all
not on
picked
block?
up. No.
How many people? You don't know
No.
whether you're blocked or not.
I'm not blocked. I'm not blockable.
I get that little one ring and then they send a text.
That means blocked.
No.
So one ring and then it goes to a text, hey, can I call you back?
That's what you do to me. Don't get me upset. All right. Now, that's what my son does. He's right. He does just that. Can I call you back? And then when he doesn't, he says he forgot. In any event, ma'am, this was a promise of a gift, and she should not have, the gift should not cause her hardship or put her in harm's way. And she would have been in harm's way had she laid hands on your son. And that might be how she would have chosen to resolve that. I think she did best by telling you to come get the child, but you should have insisted on speaking to your child. I think that's where you messed up.
I did, Your Honor.
She can't prohibit you from talking to your child. I don't believe that. She can't say,
I asked
no,
her.
I'm not going to let you talk to your child.
She did not let me speak to him.
Judge Mathis criticizes Casey for not allowing Janet to speak to her son over the phone. Parents have a right to communicate with their child, and denying this can escalate conflicts. This serves as a reminder for caregivers to facilitate parental access unless safety is at risk.
Over the phone.
You asked?
I did ask,
And she
Your
said
Honor.
no.
She said no, come and get him. She said come and get him. She bailed on me.
How will Judge Mathis rule? Find out when Mathis Court returns.
You're watching Mathis Court with Judge Mathis. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Your dog wasn't a perfect dog when I watched him for a week. For you to go on vacation with your
talking about my
family.
dog.
That's a
We're
good
not talking
point.
about my dog
With
right
your-
now. So because she felt my dog wasn't well behaved, now it's okay to drop your son off to me knowing that your son ain't well
I
behaved.
didn't drop him off to you. First of all, you know I go all out for my son. We've known each other too long to be even
How your children
going.
doing? They're in the first and second, or what grade are they?
Second and third.
All right, and there are no complaints from the teachers?
No, I don't. Our
All
children
right.
are not problem children. They get
So she
along.
said.
We get along. They have their typical, oh, you kicked the ball too hard, or this and that, like how little boys play. But they have never gotten disrespectful to either one of us.
I don't know how he's behaving.
Ma'am, I'm going to have to
so-
dismiss your claim. She had no obligation to you. And when it appeared to her that it was going to be problematic, either perhaps putting her in harm's way, kicking the seat and talking crazy, you might want to reach back and get your feet off my seat. Get your
Like
feet
the
off my
simple
seat. And
conversation, like,
boom,
what's
there goes
going
an
on?
accident.
No.
So, no, she had no obligation to continue with a gift that put her in harm's way.
Judge Mathis dismisses Janet's claim because Casey wasn't obligated to continue a favor that caused hardship, like Neil's disruptive behavior. This illustrates that withdrawing from a promise is legally permissible if it prevents harm, such as potential conflict or liability.
So I'm going to have to dismiss your claim. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
And I hope you know that I was trying to help you.
No, you weren't. You knew I had to get to my
Well,
mother.
I tried to do what I had to do.
Okay, well, thanks.
Okay.
You can head this way.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.